Hey everybody, and welcome to the Gina Bianca podcast. So glad that you're here. And today we're going to talk about how to learn. I just wrapped up my first 2-day class in Connecticut, my first 2-day 2020 class. We did strategic color placement hands-on, and we did confident 2020, which are basically my two brand new curriculums for this year. And it was like super crazy trying to come up with something that was new and fun and exciting, but still held to my values of what I love to teach. So it was like really scary for me, but it ended up being such an amazing experience. We had the most beautiful audience ever. If you came to my class, thank you. You guys were so amazing. Everybody at Strategic Color Placement, the hands-on class, like when I literally looked around at all of your doll heads and saw that they looked almost exactly like mine, I was like, oh my God, Gina, you're a good teacher. It was like a big moment for me because I like questioned myself too, you know what I mean? We all do. But I was like, oh my God, you're a good teacher. Holy shit. And it was like, yes, it was like the best feeling. So thank you so much. You guys just showing up to class is just huge. And there were people there from all levels. We had one student. For confident, we had a lot of students. But for strategic color, we had one student. We had stylists who've been doing hair 30 years. We have such a beautiful, diverse audience that follows us. So thank you guys so much for showing up. We all get so much from all of you. It's literally like the biggest blessing in the entire world. So thank you again for coming. The second day, Monday, for Confident, it was literally life-changing, I feel, for me, for everybody. I mean, people were crying. I was crying. Everyone's crying. But we really just talked about how to be confident as a human and how that translates over into what we do in our business. And it was a great day. We had the beautiful class of Phase 2 from Paul Mitchell, the school in North Haven. Thank you, Ashley, for being a Phase 2 leader and doing amazing things for future professionals. You're so amazing. But I invited them to my class. We had tickets left. People don't really like flock to a business class, you know? So I wanted to make sure that my information reached the right people, and I know that it did. I know that like just because I didn't have 1,000 people sign up for a class does not mean the class wasn't successful. That's like one of my big things. It's like if I'm successful, I have to have a sold out class. Like that's like one of my big stupid value rules. That's like complete bullshit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like not feel bad about this, and I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to like figure out what's going to make me feel better in this moment, but it's going to be positive. It's not going to be negative. I'm not going to be like staying up all night, posting all night, like losing sleep over it, stressing out over it. I'm going to give these tickets to the people in Phase 2 because they deserve it. And if I don't have time to get there, there's other ways we can contribute. So Phase 2 came. They were so amazing. So thank you guys. You guys fucking rule. And I'm just inspired right now because I wanted to do a podcast about how we learn. I really wanted to talk about like how to break through like a rut if you're in a rut and you really want to like take your life to the next level, but maybe you feel like you have a roadblock or you feel like it's hard to learn. So we're going to break it all down, and I'm going to share with you 3 ways that we learn and kind of tie it all together with how maybe we can start growing more in the future. Welcome to the Gina Bianca podcast. Awesome. All right. So what really inspired me was I went to Moe's tonight, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Moe's Southwest Grill. It's like a fast casual. I'm not going to say fast food. It's it's fucking fast food. It's fast food, but it's really good. And I love their burrito bowls. I love them. And I've been eating them like 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm still losing weight, and I feel great, so I don't feel bad. So I'm at Moe's, and they're taking my order, and the girl there, it's her first day. And the manager is like, oh, it's Liz's first day. Please fill out this survey. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'll fill out the survey. I did get my burrito bowl the same freaking way every single time. And so I check out, don't fill out the survey, and then I'm back like 4 days later. And I'm there, and then there's Liz, and she's like, hey, like she remembers me right away. And I'm just like, damn, they see a lot of people. How does she remember me? And I'm like, oh, it was her first day. Like, think of your first day doing anything, or your first day cutting hair, or your first day in your salon, or your first guest in your salon. You like remember everything because you're in that like vulnerable state of like newness. So I'm like, oh, of course she remembers me. It was her first day. But then I start doing my burrito bowl, and not only did she remember my face, she remembered how I took my burrito bowl with like 15 items in it. So I was like, damn, she like really remembered me. And then today it was almost, so this is 3 times that I've been there. Okay. So I love Moe's. Okay. So I love Moe's. So the 3rd time she didn't make my burrito, but she watched the girl who was making my burrito bowl, and she like knew it. And it just inspired me because it was like her first day, and she was in a vulnerable like sense, and her memory kicked in, and she was in a learning state because she was vulnerable. So to build off of that, I want to talk about two of the girls who came to strategic color placement were non-colorists. One of them had never colored before, and the other one just did not color. They had like a bridal business. And they had colored before, but they just don't do color. And I was walking around the room, and they were not nervous at all. And they were just going in. They were going in there. They were doing it. They were asking really good questions, and they were just killing it. And they ended up doing an amazing job. And they were in like such a vulnerable place. They were like, yeah, like this is an advanced color class, you know? And they were so brave and awesome. So the fact that they were there and got there and didn't make excuses, that's a huge deal. Like half of the success is just showing up. It's like if you want to be skinny, go to the gym and work out. If you want to, or not skinny, fit, healthy, whatever. If you want to be X, Y, and Z, you got to show up. You can't just like expect it to happen, right? So them just showing up, that's vulnerability right there. Brene Brown says that vulnerability is showing up without knowing the outcome. That's just all it is. It's just showing up, right? So how to learn, number 1, is by being vulnerable. It's my favorite word. I'm probably getting it tattooed on me tomorrow. I don't even know. But it's my favorite word because it's changing my life every single day, because I'm calling myself out on things, and I'm cutting through bullshit, and I'm literally just having breakthroughs so much more because I don't have a constant layer of shame, self-doubt, and bullshit. So I know I talk about a lot on the podcast, but you guys are just gonna have to get used to it. So vulnerability is huge when you show up to learn. So that's gonna be number 1. Number 2 is you have to be in a peak state. So a peak and beautiful state. And we talked about this earlier in the podcast a couple episodes ago, the invisible forces that are controlling your life. If you want to go back and listen to that, we talk a little bit more about this. I believe it's in that one. Who knows? It's all over this podcast. Just listen to all the episodes multiple times, okay? Just do that. So, So being in a peak state basically means you feel alert, you feel alive, and you feel awake. So for me, that's like the key to my life. I can achieve anything if I'm in a peak, in a beautiful state. So if I am just like ready to go, awake, like not dragging, I need to have enough sleep. I need to have nutrition. I need to be interested in what I'm doing. And then I also love to use music, and I love to use moving around, jumping around. I don't care how stupid I look anymore. Like I literally was so scared everyone's going to think I'm not cool. I don't give a flying fuck. I literally saw something the other day. Someone sent me, they're like, I used to care what other people think, and then I tried to pay my bills with their opinion. And I was just like, dope. Yes, that's exactly, like, who cares? So I was like jumping around. Like now before my classes, I like jump around, like just try to get like my blood going, like just to feel alive and to feel awake. It's like if you're going to be serving 50 people in an audience, like they deserve that at least, right? So you have to do whatever you can to get into a peak state, and that's going to be different for everybody, but literally you have to feel alert, awake, alive. And I like to use music, moving around, and just being interested in what you do is like half of it, and showing up is the other half. So number 1, vulnerability. Number 2 is being in a peak, beautiful state. You got to be loving what you do. You guys, that's a key to everything. You got to just love what you do. You got to be yourself. Do things that come easily to you, not things that are so difficult. You guys, it's the way to be successful. Like if you focus on things that are so hard for you, it's not to say don't get better at things that are hard and don't challenge yourself, but think of what you're gifted to do. We're put on this earth to do whatever we're supposed to do. And if it's not easy for you, do you think that's what you're supposed to do? Probably not. So don't be afraid to like lean into the easy stuff too. Number 3 is you have to be living your truth. You have to be yourself. People are going to come to you. Education is going to come to you. Ideas are going to flow to you when you're yourself. If you are pretending to be somebody that you're not, if you are focusing on specialties or things in your craft that are not what you want to be doing, it could be the hardest way to learn, because it's really difficult to learn when you're stuck in a box. And I never kind of really thought of what stuck in a box meant, but stuck in a box is like pretty much what other people want you to do. Like think about what you want to do before people told you what you wanted to do. When you were going into hair school and thinking about hair school, or when you were going into your profession thinking about your profession, what were you like excited to do? Another thing to think about is, what did you want to be when you grow up? At all different ages. Think about those things, because all of that is like before we were like programmed by society and like comparing ourselves to fucking everybody on Instagram. All of that stuff was before that, and that was like the real you. So try to connect with that. Be yourself, ask for help, do what comes easy for you. And I just pulled a quote from, I took a healing retreat with Nina Kovner at Passion Squared. She's like one of my favorite people, definitely one of my core influences in the industry and in the world and in my life. But I don't know who said it, but I wrote it in my notebook and I was going through my notes, and it said, time ceases to exist when you do what you love. And it's so true, because I could be teaching a class and it blinks. I don't even know what I said. I don't even know what I said. They're like, you did great. And I'm like, what did I say? Because I have no freaking clue. Time goes by. I don't even know. I'm talking from my heart, and it just goes by so fast, and it's so easy for me. Like, it just makes me so happy. So I hope that you find the thing that you love to do, and I hope that it lights you up. And when you learn, remember to be vulnerable and be in a peak state. You're going to remember more. You're going to absorb more. You're going to take in more. And even if you don't take it in with a photographic memory, don't forget that, over time, things will come out too when you're supposed to remember them. Your brain is storing everything like a big computer, and then when you need it, you'll be able to access it. You just have to keep yourself not stressed out. You have to calm down. And instead of jamming more information into your brain all the time, maybe think about the information that's there, make a list, go step by step. One of the biggest things we try to do is throw money at our problems and throw instant gratification. Like, oh, I'm going to buy this course and not do it. Oh, I'm going to buy this or do this or watch this and jam more information into my brain. Sometimes you just need to calm down. Think about everything that you already know. Think about what you want to feel. Think about what you want to do. Think about where you want to go. And then think about what's going to get you to those things, right? So I hope that this podcast helps you maybe get out of a rut. Maybe you've been bored or wanting to learn, but nothing's really doing it for you. Maybe you're downloading a bunch of online courses or YouTube courses and just staring into a rectangle all day. Or, maybe you're downloading it, watching it, and then not doing it. And maybe you're really a hands-on learner. Do you even know what kind of learner you are? If you want to know what kind of learner you are, you could always take the multiple intelligence quiz. You could just Google it. It'll tell you what kind of learner you are. But you're not vulnerable or in a peak state when you're laying in your bed watching a rectangle. You're in your peak state when you get on a fucking airplane, show up somewhere, make new friends, learn stuff, ask questions, and when you're around your mentors. That's how you do it. So that's how I did it. When I was learning, when I was in school, when I was taking classes, when I was doing things, I was in the room, and if you can't get there, there's other options, but if you have goals in life and you love to travel and you love to do things, like, don't underestimate the power of traveling for education, for putting yourself in the room, because I get to see every single day how powerful it truly is. I get to see how close people can get as friends. I get to see people have breakthroughs and beautiful moments of creativity. I get to see people learn and just like have these aha moments. It's like such an amazing thing. And everybody should be able to experience that. If not as an educator, then as an attendee. Learn as much as you possibly can, because there's always another level. If you feel like you've gotten to the peak of your career, if you feel like you've gotten to, a plateau and there's nothing else, there's a newsflash. There's always another level. It doesn't even have to be in hair. It could be anything, what really like gets you excited that you could talk about all day long. Think about these things, okay? So before we go, I wanted to let you guys know that we have some classes coming up at the Network Salon in Southington, Connecticut. And just so you guys know, if you were wondering, the airport to fly into is Bradley International Airport. The airport code is BDL if you want to see if flights come in from your airport to ours. It's a really easy, small airport, and we're about 40 minutes from the airport. There's plenty of hotels right next to the network, too. It's very easy to travel there, so if you're interested in our education, please know the travel is so easy, and we can certainly help you with any questions or bookings, and we also do group rates. So for a group rate, if you wanted to book 6 or more, you can let us know, and we can certainly help you book that as well. The classes coming up, number 1 are the Cutting Masters, and that is with Chanel Mariano, DJ Muldoon, Jacob Khan, Krista Dupree, and Arif Ahmed. That class is $200. It's almost full. I think there's 4 or 5 tickets left. The DJ Muldoon class, that class is $500 and includes a doll head. It is a hands-on cutting class, and it is with me also. I'll be teaching a guest service, a customer service segment with DJ. The next one is on March 8th. That's with Allison Valsimus. She is teaching hands-on bridal at the network with Design Me. Also, the Rise from the Ashes fundraiser for Rochelle Golden. This class is completely a fundraiser. All the funds are going to be going to Rochelle to help her rebuild her salon. If you haven't heard, her and her team tragically lost their salon home, House of Gold Salon, to a devastating fire back around Christmas time. So we're doing a fundraiser. It's a class. It is with me, Jessie Trippy. She's going to be talking about hand-tied. We also have Melinda Cumby. She's going to be doing a balayage demo. Allison is going to be teaching an updo demo. And and Rochelle will be speaking as well. So that class will be amazing. It'll be just a great way to get together and all for a good cause. If you can't be there, we also have an option to donate as well. And on March 22nd, that class is with me and Tabitha Coffey. We are going to be talking about growth, personal development, and empowerment. It's going to be a beautiful day where we talk about values, storytelling, and so much more. So I hope I see you guys at the network. And if you want to buy tickets, it's www.ginabianca.com. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Gina Bianca podcast.